Well, I think we can get actually started. It's 2 minutes past 12 here in New York, at least. I know we're joining from a lot of different locations and time zones here. But again, thank you for joining us. Really great to see almost 350 of you here today with us. So we're very excited about that. My name is Uri, and I'm the head of product at Slido. And today I'll be guiding you through the next 45 up to an hour of updates and announcements from our team. I know that for, I guess, all of us, it goes without saying that the past 3 months were nothing like what we imagined they would be, right? So we've all had to accept and adapt the new normal, whether that's been pretty much instantly shifting to working from home as I'm sitting at home, all of our team are sitting at home, or for me, in my case, getting a new puppy. There's been a lot of new changes there. But we're extremely grateful for your partnership and trust that you place in us, especially during such times of uncertainty. And today we want to share openly, what is it that we've been working on? Where are we going? And in return, we want to get your candid feedback on what is it that we could be doing better. So don't think of this event as your typical sort of passive broadcast where you just join the webinar and you get on with your day, cooking lunch or replying to emails. We are going to be engaging you. We want to engage in a conversation with you. And to be frank, this is a scale we would never be able to pull off in a person. So again, thank you for joining us here today. Now, as a company of 140 employees, spread across actually 10 different time zones. Let's get my slides here straight. As a team of 140 employees spread across 10 different time zones, we've learned a lot from running remote meetings. And we believe that effective virtual meetings are a big part of what makes remote work work. So today, I'm really excited to show you what we've been doing to make remote meetings more inclusive and engaging. But before we get into all of that, I would like to ask our co-founder and CEO, Peter Komornik, to quickly update you on the context of where we are as a business today. So Peter, take it away.
Thank you, Uri, and welcome everybody. Big thanks to all of you for joining us today. It's an incredible pleasure to have so many of you with us. As Uri mentioned, we would never be able to pull such a scale in the physical world. And our mission has always been about helping people get the most value from joining a meeting or event by enabling a dialogue between the speakers and their audiences. And we feel that today, especially in these times, our mission has become even more important as most meetings have now moved virtual, and achieving a true dialogue has become ever more challenging. And as Uri said, the last 3 months were truly unprecedented times. And they also had a big impact on us and our customers. First of all, at the start of March, when the pandemic basically broke out in most of the Western world, basically all of our customers, mostly the conference customers, which was still our biggest segment at the time, had to either cancel, postpone, or try to move their events online. Flagship events like Mobile World Congress, Barcelona, South by Southwest in Austin, or SaaStr in the Bay Area, which were supposed to welcome tens of thousands of participants, had to be called off at the last minute, destroying incredible amount of and hours of planning and effort by the organizing teams. It was truly heartbreaking to see the impact of the pandemic, not just on them, but also the whole cities and communities. But at the same time, it was strangely inspiring to see how fast many of them were able to adapt and start moving their offering online. I think a great example of this was a Financial Times global boardroom event, which the organizing team put together in just 4 weeks and brought an incredible lineup of speakers from all around the world, reaching hundreds of thousands of participants during 3 days. Such speed of execution, reach, and quality of speakers just wasn't possible in the physical world before the COVID-19. And similarly, most of our corporate customers had to completely switch their way of working almost overnight and move all of their operations and meetings online. And many expect to make this change actually permanent. In terms of the impact on our business, after an initial slump in usage in early March, when everyone was basically just scrambling to figure out how to adapt to the new circumstances, we have seen a strong increase in demand for Slido, as people are trying to make their virtual meetings more inclusive and engaging. The growth was initially driven mainly by all-hands meetings and Q&A sessions as leaders tried to create a safe space for their employees to ask questions about what's going on, what's changing, how is the situation evolving. But later on, as we have seen an increased demand for live polls and quizzes as people try to bring in more fun and engagement into the remote meetings. And just 3 weeks ago, as we were celebrating our 8th birthday, we have reached a milestone of 1 million weekly participants for the first time in our history. And we felt very grateful and privileged that we could be there for you, our customers, during these extremely challenging times and share with you our learnings and know-how that we learned on our journey about how to successfully run remote meetings and make the transition to this virtual setup. But at the same time, we recognized and we heard from you that our product was not yet fully ready for this shift. And we listened closely to your feedback. We spent hours and hours talking to you on calls, research calls, and our product teams have been working extremely hard for the past 2 months to improve the experience for you. And today we are extremely excited to have you with us and share with you the first results of their hard work. So thank you again so much for joining us today. Please enjoy the event, and I hope you will like what we have prepared for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Well, I'm for sure excited. This is also very exciting that we're running this from home. Gives you all different sorts of anxiety and learnings, but I'm sure we'll get through it. It's also fun to see a lot of the colleagues joining from different locations. So really excited for the next few minutes. Now, before we get started, a few quick reminders. Throughout the event, you can submit your questions. A lot of you have already been doing that. Also upvote questions from others right next to the video on the right-hand side, or if you're joining on your phone, you can see the questions tab, Q&A tab. So please take part in the conversation and send us your questions. We'll be answering them at the end, some throughout as well. Also, say hi to everyone in chat. That's something we'll talk about later. You can just greet all the people that are joining from all these excitingly sounding locations across the globe. And to go full screen for an even better experience, if you're watching us, simply double click on the video and you'll come to a better experience. Now, let's get to business, right? First, let me welcome Isa, who will show you a few updates that will make it ridiculously easy for you to start engaging your audience with just one click. Isa, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Have you recently been in a meeting where you presented an important topic to a group of colleagues and you wanted to know what their opinions were? Well, as you can see, without the interaction tool, it is far from being easy to get an answer. Even in our current setup, you cannot just raise your hand. And even if you do, I'm not going to see it. My name is Isabella, and I'd like to show you what we've been working on these days to make this really, really easy. From my perspective, it was so incredible to be a part of the team which was involved in solving this problem. So let me now walk you through the new user experience and lets you instantly engage with your audience in a meeting or an event. Most of you usually go to Slido by typing slido.com, accessing the admin interface, creating an event, and basically all the individual steps necessary for giving a voice to your audience. I'm really excited to show you a new way of getting you started a quick event. Let me click the button. Well, what just did happen? It created a new event in the background and took me directly to the present mode. You can show this view to your audience simply by sharing the screen. And yeah, just imagine you are in a meeting and you would like to do a quick pulse check related to the company strategy. With the new interaction panel, which is always displayed in the bottom left corner, you can create any kind of poll, survey, or a quiz. So let me show you how. So this would be your question. Should we continue working from home? Yes, no, And for example, we need more info. And cool, I'm launching it now. And right away, participants can start submitting their votes. And the most convenient way for participants is to join Slido event by scanning the QR code that you see on the left side, which I'm doing right now. And this action takes me, of course, directly to the browsers and opens the participant mode. But there's also one possibility of obtaining the event link just right here. So I'm copying the link to the clipboard, and then you can share it, for example, via chat, email, or Slack. So I see some votes coming here, and yeah, during the meeting, receiving the answers is going to enable you and your team to have a much more effective discussion, and giving everyone an equal opportunity to voice their opinions. And just as a meeting flow, and before the meeting ends, you can get an instant feedback from your colleagues on a scale from 1 to 5. And by clicking here on one of the predefined Slido polls, which launches right away. Did you notice how smooth and easy that was? All I needed to do was to open the polls menu, and it was just there. Magic, right? But we have one more surprise for you to get you started even faster. It's now possible to simply type slido.new into your browser. And here we go. A new Slido event is ready for your next meeting. So to summarize, we created 2 new domains, Slido New and Poll New. And many of you going to start seeing these improvements as we gradually roll them out. But from today, all of you can use the Slido New and Poll New to instantly engage your audience in a remote meeting.
Awesome, thank you, Isa. I think that would normally deserve a clap, but imagine that's happening now in the background somewhere. Really cool, really exciting to see how fast and seamless this is now happening to start engaging your team in a meeting. Love it. There's a question, and thank you so much for sending all these questions. We'll get to a lot of them at the end, but there's one perhaps we can address now. Someone's asking, is this quick start working also without login? Isa, maybe if you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, sure. So you have to be login in a background, but once you log in, it will remember you. And once you are going to start your new meeting, you will see the button over there.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you, Isa, again. Now, for some meetings, you need for Slido to be a seamlessly integrated part of your presentation. I'm sure a lot of you felt that pain. That's why back in October, we introduced our integration with Google Slides that we're in fact using here for this event. And today we are super excited to demo something new that Martin and the team were working on for the past few months, really hard, in Microsoft PowerPoint. Side note there, this has probably been the most requested feature ever since I remember working for this company. So Martin, all I can say, good luck with this demo.
Thanks, Uri. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Martin. I'm a product manager here at Slido. And in this live demo, I'm going to show you how to download and set up and eventually use Slido for PowerPoint. That's what we call it. You can also call it the PowerPoint integration, whatever you prefer, really. So first thing I'm going to do here is download the application. So this is the website where you find it. I'm going to click this button. When you click it, the download will start. So once that is finished, you'll find this file either in your downloads file or perhaps on your desktop. It's up to you where you pick the destination, what destination you pick. I've already gone through the installation kind of process, not to bore you with the screens of the installation wizard, but essentially once you get to the very end of the installation process, all you have to do is just click finish. You can see that I already have my shortcut on the desktop. It's right here. So at this point, I can just launch it. There's really nothing else to it at this point. Let me just move my videos a bit to the left. There we go. Good, so I'm launching it now. You'll notice that there's a new notification in the bottom right corner. So this tells me the app is running in the background. So that's very important for you to know. But there's nothing else to do at this point here. So I'm going to open PowerPoint. And when you do that, let me maximize this. There we go. You'll notice that I've got my Slido badge here. So this is the application. And this is all you'll need to start adding interactions to your PowerPoint slideshow. So let's click it and see what happens. Good. So this is my panel that will allow me to add polls, quizzes, surveys, and Q&A to my slideshow. So let's see how that works. So let's say I want to start off with a quick poll, which asks you, how many screens do you use when working from home? This is a hot topic, so let's have a look. And then let's say I want to do a quick Q&A at the very end of my presentation, right? I think that's what many of you typically do. Good, so let's click add a Q&A slide. Again, I've got my slide here and I'm ready. So if you want to start presenting, you simply hit the button, which is right here, or you can use the green button, really up to you. I'm gonna start presenting right now. Good, so this is my first slide. So welcome everyone to my live demo, and let's get straight into my first polling question. When I go on that slide, you'll notice that the polling question activates immediately, and you should already see it on your devices or on your screens. So I'll give you a few moments to register that. There we go, 24 votes, wonderful. Yeah, 2 screens, that's what I rock. I think that's the best for now. But we also have some maniacs with 4 screens. That's good, some people prefer that, wonderful. So as you can see, it's instant. It activates automatically. I just clicked my keyboard button, that's all I did. So let's go next, let's go back to my slides. There we go, and I'm back in my slideshow. So you see, it's very seamless. It's all integrated into your slideshow, and you can use all these features that you can see on the screen. So we've got polls, Q&A, and quizzes. So the suite of features that you're used to, and it's the core functionality of Slido. Good, and as you remember, I also added a Q&A slide to my slideshow. So let's have a look at that. So that's my next screen. There we go. Wonderful. So all the questions that you have sent so far are here. So we have a question from Leah, from Ragnar. There we go, from Patty. And as a presenter, I can also highlight the question and obviously tick it off and get rid of it once it's answered. But I'm not going to do that right now because that's a very good question. Good. And again, once I'm done, I can just go next and I'm back in my slides. There we go. So this is the last piece of information for you guys. So we want to make this available to a select group of users in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. If you want to get instant access to this, you will receive an email after the webinar. So kind of wait for that and you'll get instructions in that email. And I think that's it from my side. So thank you.
Very cool, Martin. Thank you so much. I see people clapping on Slido. I can see people clapping on Zoom. So again, imagine that happening in real world. There's a wonderful comment from No Shot saying, now this is cool. I had tested some of the other instant survey and polls, but this PowerPoint integration is a game changer. Thanks and congrats. Wow. So that goes to you, Martin, and the team. Really excited. I'm borderline excited to use PowerPoint again after seeing this. So well done. All right. We've seen how seamless it is for speakers to use Slido now, right? Up next, we are excited to show you what we've done to improve the participant experience. Martin will shortly demo, I know it's another Martin, you're not dreaming. We'll shortly demo to you the one place your participants need to watch and interact with live video without having to switch to another tab or use their phone. And as part of that, our new integration with Zoom webinars. Martin, take it away.
Thanks, Uri. Hey everyone, so I'm the other Martin and I'm part of the team that's working on integrating Slido with other virtual meeting tools. And first of all, I want to thank everyone who requested early access for this, and you acted as co-designers and gave us a great feedback, so much appreciated. The update I want to show you today is probably the most obvious one, as you've been looking at it for the past 15 or 20 minutes. We're really excited to introduce today the new way of embedding live video, even Zoom webinar into Slido, and a new experience for attendees. So first, I would like to walk you through the new changes in the attendee view, and afterwards I will walk you through the setup, which we simplified as well. So first of all, you can see that we're giving much more space to the actual video. So content is the most important thing, and is the reason why the attendees, the reason why people are joining these webinars and live events. So majority of the space is the live stream, whether it's Zoom webinar, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live. Next, we want to keep the attention span high, and we want the participants to be engaged. So that's why Slido is there in a sidebar, even if you are in the full screen. Whenever the attendee wants to ask a question or participate in the poll, they can do that right there in the same window. In the live events, conferences, or meetups, back in the days where we're actually meeting physically, people needed some space to just hang out, to chat among each other. And that's why we are introducing a new experimental feature, which is a chat. It's good to see that a lot of you actually tried it already. It's an experimental feature we're rolling out to few users. It's available upon request, and it would be great to get your feedback on this as well. Last but not least, especially in the external facing webinars, marketing or sales events, you want to have some sort of branding. So that's why you can add your logo below the video. And if you want to add some more information for your attendees, you can do that with a description. So the key point here is really that the attendees have only one window, one place where they're watching the content and interacting with the speakers or together. It's the same link you used to join this webinar. You don't have to take out your phone. You don't have to switch between tabs to ask a question. Not only that, you can use the same link. You can share it in advance with your attendees and get some questions prior to your actual event. So this is the attendee experience, but we also wanted to simplify the setup. So let me show you how you actually add a live video into Slido. So now hopefully you can see my Zoom webinar page, the configuration page. I already scheduled a webinar, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it. And I have the link to join webinar you usually use. So I'm gonna copy this link and go to my Slido event. Here in the settings, you might remember it from before, in integration, you can add a live video. But we put it together with Zoom webinar, so we have access to both of these features in one place. I opened the Zoom webinar, and the link I took from my Zoom admin page, I will edit here, and that's it. So now I embedded a live video Zoom webinar into my Slido event. The link I joined with the participants is right here. You can take it from the share button on the top. And this is the link you are sharing with your attendees via email or in your registration form. Here you can add a bit of a description, and that's it. You embedded live video for your event along with the Slido Q&A, quizzes, surveys. Once I save, it's done. And this is available starting Monday. We'll be rolling out new features gradually. And the one I'm really excited about is ability to connect your Zoom account with Slido. So we can just select from your existing pre-scheduled webinars directly in the settings. So looking forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks, and that's it from me. Back to you, Rai.
Awesome, thank you, Martin. Really great demo. There's over 500 people on this call, on this webinar, and I'm telling you, a majority of these comments and questions are about Zoom and the integration and the excitement that people are seeing. Can't wait to join this. I think Zoom has definitely been the buzzword of this pandemic in a good way or a bad way, I don't know. But really great to see that our team is investing into this. There's a question from Ragnar, which I think we can address real quick here. Ragnar is asking, will you also integrate into Zoom so that instead of using their polls, we could use Slido?
So at the moment, in the first phase, we wanted to put the Zoom experience into Slido, which was honestly the fastest thing we could do. Eventually, we would love to be part of the Zoom experience. And if that ever happens, we'll definitely keep you posted.
Sounds good. Thank you, Martin. Now, please keep sending those questions. We'll have a lot of time for Q&A. We want to spend some time there for sure. But let's move forward. So we've been busy, right? You've seen these 3 demos. Let's quickly recap what you heard and saw today. At Slido, we're focused on helping you get the most value from joining a meeting or event by enabling a true dialogue between the speaker and the audience. The new quick start and instant polls allow you to start engaging your audience with literally 1 click. With the new PowerPoint integration, you can now make Slido a seamless part of your presentation. And we are investing into the virtual meetings and event experience with the new Zoom webinar integration that Martin just demoed coming to Zoom at Marketplace soon. Now, our team is super proud of all today's announcements. So before we go to the Q&A, I want to pause for one more thing. For feedback. We would love to hear your feedback. So please, I'm activating a short survey now. Please give the team your feedback, your candid feedback on what you've seen in the demos. You will see there's 3 questions. You'll be able to rate each demo or your excitement. Also post 3 comments. So please let us know what you think. We'll give you a few seconds or a few minutes. We're doing good on time. Let's see how many of you are here now. This is awesome. Almost 500 people. We've got already 60 people giving me feedback. Very cool. Thank you for that. This is why we're doing these events. It's so important for us to hear from you. So again, thank you. We have almost 100 people submitting some thoughts and feedback. So I'm going to quickly just run through the reactions. So here's the first demo that we've seen from Isa, quick start and instant polls. The average is 5 out of 6. Really excited to see that. Hopefully making your instant engagements and meetings, especially now virtual, easier. Then we've seen Martin with the PowerPoint integration. That's been a long-awaited hit, I would say. And then just now we've seen the demo of the Zoom webinar integration, the new live events layout, which I think couldn't be more relevant for what we are going through these days and months, and probably will continue to see more of that. A lot of events and meetings moving to virtual or hybrid. Awesome. Well, thank you for the feedback. Keep that coming. All right, but let's move on. I think if you guys are ready, let's actually move to the questions. There's just too many. There's 65 questions. Look at that. The top voted one has over 60 upvotes. Thank you for sending those. Please keep on doing so, and we'll try and mix it up among all the presenters. We'll start with the most upvoted one. So let's talk about Microsoft Teams. We talked about some of the platforms, but Microsoft Teams for sure has been sort of another key platform that enables work now distributed. So Martin, can you tell Leah and a lot of other folks what the plans are there?
Yep, I can take this one. So we have had an app for Microsoft Teams for a while. It's pretty much embedding the Slido, the attendee view, into your channel in Microsoft Teams, which acts as a tab. So that's all possible to download from the Microsoft Store. When it comes to Microsoft Teams, the meeting or the calling product, we are looking at it as well. And as soon as we have an update, we will share this.
Sounds good. I love this comment, let's say, from Sir. Sir, thank you. Do gens have to wear beards to work for Slido during the pandemic? Yes, I would say that is the...
And you're sorry for jumping in, but can we stop the music, please?
Oh, we're playing music.
Sorry.
I can't even hear the music. Anyway, so let's move on. There's a ton of, Martin, we might be coming back to you. There's a ton of questions around this topic, but maybe while we're with you, quick overview of what are the other integrations in the live video webinar space. There's been questions about WebEx, some other platforms, so maybe you can answer a bunch of them actually here.
Yeah, that's definitely on the table. We started with Zoom Webinar for a couple of reasons. One being that we have been using Zoom ourselves. We are big fans of the product, and Zoom has seen incredible growth in the past few months. Then when it comes to other webinar applications, we are looking at those. At the moment, you can always embed any live video stream, so such as YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Vimeo live stream into Slido. So that's possible now. And as mentioned, when it comes to other webinar applications, please just let us know what you are using, and we'll be happy to get in touch and understand better what your flow and what your requirements are.
Cool, thank you. Martin, now the other Martin, the PowerPoint Martin, there's a few questions for you here. First, let's start by addressing this one from Becky. The Google Slides integration has been out there for a while. There's actually we actually hit 10,000 meetings powered by the integration recently. So there's a lot of you using this, which is great to see. What is the difference between the Google Slides and PowerPoint integration? Is it pretty much the same thing, or would you point anything out?
I think the only difference I can think of at the moment is that with Google Slides, it's an add-on that you add through the Google Marketplace. With PowerPoint, you have to download the app which runs in the background, which kind of sits on top of PowerPoint. Otherwise, the functionality and the way it displays questions and polls is exactly the same. And you could see that even the experience of adding the interactions to your slideshow is pretty much similar. So I think that's the only key difference there.
Got it. Thank you, Brozy. And I'll have to ask you this one. When is Slido PowerPoint integration coming to Mac?
I expected this question. So first of all, I love Apple, and I'm a Mac user myself. So hopefully one day, however, we don't have a timeline for this yet. We started with Microsoft because we wanted to learn a few things here and there and make sure that it really works for PowerPoint users, and PowerPoint users are typically Microsoft users. So that was our starting point. It's definitely on our radar, but as I said, no certain timeline at the moment.
Cool. And just to break it up, I'll leave this up there. I don't know which Martin this goes to. Take it both. You're both geniuses.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. There's a ton of questions on Teams, which we covered. A lot of questions on the Mega integration, so thank you for clearing that out, Martin. Let's come to Zoom for a quick short while, because there's a lot of questions about what makes it different from using the polls in Zoom. Could you maybe point out a few of the differences between this?
Yeah, that's a good one. So as you know, Zoom is such a fantastic tool, and they're doing an amazing job when it comes to video, audio, the webinars. And they do have a Q&A chat and poll features. Their focus, however, is the video, so people can connect and talk. And our focus for the past, I guess, forever has been the live interaction. So we see Slido as a complementary tool to Zoom. And with the advantage of using this integration is that participants have both things in one window. You can share the same link in advance to collect questions for your event, or you can even run some sort of poll prior to your event to collect some insights. When it comes to the polls, there is a multiple choice within Zoom, but as you know, with Slido, you have open text rating. You can add images, and Isa and her team not that long ago introduced quizzes, which is a fantastic tool and introduces a little bit of gamification and fun into your meetings.
Awesome, sounds good. Isa, now over to you. There's few people asking a very similar question around the interaction panel that we released and that you just demoed. So just to clear that out, will the attendees see the interaction panel, or is that something that, you know, whilst you're drafting the question, is only you as the admin or the meeting organizer that you see that? Yeah,
as it is in a browser, your participants will see it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's really quick to add any instant poll during your meeting, and in a small meeting, it's really okay to share it with your participants.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And then, can you make up questions in advance and save them, then access them during the meeting?
Definitely. Whenever you would like to prepare your event, it's your choice when you do it.
So Isa, I'll put you on a spot here. Do you want to talk about a feature that wasn't shown in the demo, but it's coming out soon, that perhaps would help here?
Can we elaborate more?
Sorry, I'm trying to hint on the library that you and the team are working on.
Yeah,
Perhaps you can share a
definitely.
bit more on that.
So basically, it will be even easier to create any polls. So currently, you have library of some predefined polls in the admin, but the second step will be to just browse through your polls in a past, and you will access them just right here, just in an interaction panel. So it will be really easy to duplicate your old polls in your next meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. That's something to look forward to. Bringing back to the Zoom, Martin, a few questions on chat. So let's address those. The top voted one is from Shai. You mentioned the chat feature is something that's also currently still in the works, but let's address these questions. So first, Shai notices that this is the ideas kind of turning into chat. But also, what is the availability of this? How can people get access to this early if they want to help us demo and feedback it? And then whilst we're on it, you can also answer a question from Tanya. Can the chat feature be moderated?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you both. And good catch. We actually renamed the ideas feature. As mentioned, chat is a proof of concept, an experimental feature we wanted to bring in to our users, as that was probably one of the top requests as well. We can enable it for you just per request. If you have an event you want to try this with, please just send us an email or just reach out on the Slido chat you have available in the admin. And we would love to hear your feedback. So right now it's in a very simple form. I'm really glad that people are using it and that it's getting good traction. But please, if you want to use it, we'll be super happy, and just share your feedback afterwards. And to answer, just to answer the other question, can the chat feature be moderated? At the moment, it can be moderated after people ask or after people send a message. So imagine, just like with ideas, you receive some sort of message in a chat or people reply. If this is something you consider inappropriate or it's irrelevant, you can remove it, you can archive it so no one's going to see it. The moderation you have with the Q&A, so you are reviewing the incoming questions. This at the moment is not possible, but we know that it might be necessary in the future.
Sounds good. Awesome. So that's all about chat coming soon. So please help us test that out, as Martin said. Going back to PowerPoint integration. So a quick follow-up from Jane here. For the PowerPoint integration, do people still participate in the polls from Slido? Where do they interact with the questions? Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Sure. So once you start presenting and either the polling question appears on the screen or the Q&A slide with the questions, there still will be the QR code, which you can see now on your right screen, and there still will be an event code, which people can just type to slido.com. So the experience remains the same. So ideally, participants either use their smartphones or they use the second tab on their browsers, on their computers in the browser.
Sounds good. Awesome. So hopefully that's clear now. I can see a few questions around security. Here's one from Toby. Perhaps we can use this to answer that question more broadly. As I can see a few of you, Peter. What are we doing in terms of security at Slido? What are the best practices really to us and using our tool?
Yes, thank you, Toby, for the question. It's a very important question, especially in these times. And we obviously take security very, very importantly at Slido. We have just been actually ISO certified in February this year. So we're very happy with that and proud to achieve this milestone. And we, of course, are running kind of regular security penetration tests, regular kind of security checks. We have dedicated security team, kind of very strict practices in our development in terms of security. So you can actually go on our website, slido.com/security, and you can find like all the detailed information there, also with some frequently asked questions. And if you're interested, we also are kind of able to send you this WYSIWYG kind of documentation form, which kind of elaborates more deeply on on our security practices at Slido.
Sounds good. Thank you, Peter. And if you have any more specific questions around security, feel free to ask us and we can follow up with some of you here as well afterwards. Back to you, Martin. We talked a lot about live video and presentations. Can you just quickly, for Tanya, run through any other integrations that we have that could help, perhaps with the internal comms focus or just getting work done?
Yes, thanks. So we do have an integration with Slack. It's easy as just adding or putting /Slido into a channel, which enables you to collect questions from members of the channel, from your teammates. Similar to Slack is Microsoft Teams. So we have a simple app where you can embed Slido into your Microsoft Team channel. That's I would say those are more related to the town hall or larger meeting use cases. I would say that Google Slides, PowerPoint, that's pretty obvious, and Zoom Webinar. And integration is probably one of the most important things we are looking at, as we know that you are using all these tools and we want to make it super simple to use Slido alongside them. So if you have any requests, if you do have any tools that you can imagine using Slido with, please just let us know, and happy to schedule a call and learn more.
Sweet. Isa, let's bring this back to you. Brainstorming ideation is particularly painful during a lockdown where we're all working from home and we can't just stand around a whiteboard. There's a question from Jan around any plans for features for this. We had and worked on ideas before. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, currently we have the feature ideas. It's kind of hidden. You have to turn it on in settings, but there might be a plan to integrate it within polls as a brainstorming poll. But let's see what we'll do in a couple of weeks or months.
Sounds good. While we have you, there's a question from Tanya as well. Can you explain slido.new again? I'm wondering, maybe we should just pause for a really quick demo if you want to share your screen again and show the magic.
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
So sharing screen right now. Cool. So as I was doing it during the demo, let's type slido.new again, and by clicking enter, it's going to create me a new event in the background. Maybe just wait for internet connection. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, it's created already, and you can play around with it. The second one, the second link that I was mentioning, poll.new is really the similar one, but the only difference I'll show you right now is that it will create you a Slido event as well. And the difference is that you will have this model with creating the new poll ready in front of you.
Awesome, thank you. Hopefully that's helpful. Let me go back to the Q&A. Let's take a few more questions. We have some time left, so if you have anything else that you've been lingering on, please submit it as a question. Let's take the recent one actually from Nicole. Are we limited to running one event at a time? You can answer this, Isa, or anyone else who would like to. Oh, they're waiting. There are no volunteers.
Well, you can have more than one event in the same time.
Yes, the only limitation will be the event code. So you can't have, for example, today we're using the event code product. So under my account, I can't have more events running with that, but you can use Slido for more meetings, events at the same time, or even split into different sessions and rooms. Few questions around customizations, specifically around live videos that are hosted on Slido or on Zoom. Martin, maybe just briefly here, what's possible, what's planned?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. And again, number 1 or 2 request. At the moment, you can add your logo, the description, you can change the color of the header. So if you are joining through the Slido app with live video embedded, you can see the Q&A chat polling header. Eventually, we definitely will be adding support to customize other elements. I would say being consistent with your branding guidelines is super important. So it will come.
Awesome. Sounds good. And let's take one last question from Amrit here. Can we use Slido when the internet is not available? We conduct the session in rural areas, especially with children. This is a tough one, to be honest, but wanted to address it. For Slido, you need internet connection, especially as you can see what we're doing here, displaying the results and questions in real time. If the children have access to internet at home, you could share with them a link and they could crowdsource questions that way, but it's more difficult without the internet connection. But just wanted to quickly answer this one. I'm seeing more of these now, but let's just take one more then. This is, I'm assuming, for PowerPoint, Martin. So for you, does the poll only launch when we show the poll slide? Explain that mechanism.
Yes, that's the current design. So as soon as you land on the Slido slide, it activates the poll. As soon as you leave it, it deactivates the poll. However, I've heard this feedback before, and I can see more and more users ask about this. Can I run the poll throughout the session and just go through the slides? So we'll listen to the feedback and we'll think about how we can make that work in the future.
Awesome. Cool. Well, you gave us a lot of questions, which is awesome. I'm sweating here. I'm sure all the people who are actually responding to those questions are sweating, but I'm afraid we're out of time. We hope today, gives you a useful sense for where we'll be heading. But as I mentioned at the beginning, we want to get your candid feedback on what is it that we could be doing better. So please do continue to share your thoughts with us even after this event. There's a lot of unanswered questions that we'll definitely answer in a follow-up. And also there's questions about what's next in the roadmap, what integrations are building. Martin touched on some of the things in terms of live video, but we will need your input for that and your help. So thank you for those who've been helping us shape that and sharing your ideas and getting on a call with us to give us your feedback. That's kind of what helps us. Most of the things you've seen today are live or coming soon, but it's important to say that we're really just getting started. So stay tuned for more. You'll find a summary of all the announcements from today on our blog, and I also will be sending that out in a follow-up email together with the recording. So all I have to say is thank you, and thank you for working with us, and enjoy the rest of the morning, day, evening, wherever you are. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.